Alright, everyone ready to go? Yep. Okay. My fellow Victorians, it has come to my attention that during this trying time, based on one piece of evidence and some wild speculation, that your snack game is not quite up to scratch this isolation. Stage 4 being a troubling time for everyone, it's important that we stay creative in the kitchen, and so to do this, I've partnered with the Love Cafe to launch the new Premier's initiative, #COVID Snack Club, or #CSC. The goal is to encourage you at home, Victorian or otherwise, to up your snack game. So, without further ado, I'm going to show you a couple of ways that I like to do this at home. What I'd like to make for you today is my style grilled cheese sandwich and a Crunchwrap Supreme, which might be a little bit more advanced for you at home, so I encourage you to have a go at that one. So the way that I like to make a grilled cheese sandwich in the Andrews household is to pretty much round up every bit of cheese that I can and see what comes of it. So this is what I'm going to put in mine today. We're going to start with Swiss cheese. We're going to add in some grated C-word cheese. And lastly, we're going to hit it with some Gruyere that I had from when the Love Cafe made Croque Madame, which was absolutely magnificent. So thank you for that one, Nathan. And also, you'll definitely need some butter. Lastly, you'll need some bread. The most important step for the grilled cheese happens at the very beginning, and that's taking off your Pride and Joy North Face jacket and instead replacing it with one of Catherine's aprons. Cats on this one. I'm more of a dog person, but that's okay. The first step in our cooking is to grate all your cheese. Now I'm going to start with the Gruyere. Now this specific cheese isn't actually essential, unlike our supermarket workers and workers on the front line, which we all very much appreciate. And similarly, your mask is essential if you're going down to get some cheese for this meal. With that one done, we'll move on to our tasty. This is probably what everyone has at home, so if you're just making a grilled cheese with this, fantastic, love it. Now since our last cheese is sliced, we don't need to worry about that. That can just go on top of our grated cheese, which we've tossed together to make sure everything's nice and combined. Now, on a low heat, we're going to melt 2 tablespoons of butter, and the goal of this is to go low and slow. Once your butter is starting to bubble and foam, put your 2 pieces of bread in and get those toasting. You may need to up the heat a little bit from low, but try and keep it below medium. Alright, after a few minutes in the pan, your bread hopefully looks nice and toasted and golden brown like this. And we can go ahead and add in our cheese. So I'm going to layer it with 1 layer of Jarlsberg, then some grated 2 cheese blend. And then we're going to hit it with another layer of Jarlsberg and quickly put our other layer inside out. So you've got both the hot sides in helping to melt the cheese and then the outside of the bread being toasted as well. After a couple minutes, flip over your grilled cheese and do the other side. After another few minutes, our toasted sandwich is done. Let's bring it over to the board. Hear that. That's lovely. Music to my ears. Alright, now let's cut into it. Let's see if we can get a pull. And that's how you make a Dandrew's grilled cheese. Moving on now to the second snack, the Crunchwrap Supreme. This is a little bit more ingredient heavy, so bear with me. We're going to need some large-ish style wraps, some tortilla strips, or you can use corn chips or taco shells. This is your form of, or one of your forms of crunch, so just something that's a little bitey, let's say. Some lettuce. Go and grab yourself a roast chook from the supermarket, sour cream. You'll need some milk, little wraps, grated cheese again, and lastly, a tomato. Once again, the first step to cooking a Crunchwrap is to grate some cheese. Now, This is for a queso, or at least our iteration of queso, which is kind of like just a cheese sauce. Now in the US, they're blessed with a whole bunch of different cheeses, so we're just going to make do with Tasty, and this is what the milk's going into as well. You're going to do 2 parts cheese to 1 part milk. Nice and easy. So we're going to do 40 grams to 20 mils today. Now before we get our queso started, it's important to have everything you need ready to go in building the Crunchwrap. So we're just going to shred up a little bit of iceberg lettuce and also dice a tomato. Other things to have at the ready is your chicken, which I'm just filled up a small bowl. You can use as much or as little as you want, so I'm just playing it by ear. You need your form of crunch and your little wraps, which are all going to go into the assembly of it. You also want to have your sandwich press ready, which we're going to turn on about halfway through cooking so it's hot and ready to go. Let's make some queso. So, on a lowish heat, we'll go our ham, and then our cheese goes in. At the same time, our milk does too. Using a whisk, make sure you keep an eye on it and keep it moving. So within a minute, you'll have something like this, a somewhat cheesy sauce that we can put on our Crunchwrap Supreme. Now this is a step that a lot of people omit, but it's very important. We need to preheat our tortilla. So that goes straight on a direct flame, tossing every few seconds or so. We don't want to start any fires, do we? Let's assemble. Firstly, we're going on with our chicken. Just make a nice little area in the middle. And then we go on with our queso. Then it's time for our crunch. So what you're gonna do on top of the cheese is just shingle on kind of the source of crunch that you're using, whether it's corn chips or broken in a half taco shells or Doritos, anything. Anything. So just get them on there like that. Get some sour cream on top. Then we'll hit it with the lettuce, the tomatoes, some more grated cheese, and lastly, our little soft taco shell. Now here's the tricky bit. We're going to fold up and kind of pleat the whole thing so that it's in a nice neat little package. And then quickly slide it over to the sandwich press and shut the lid. In the sandwich press, that'll all seal up very nicely, and we'll be ready to eat our next snack. Now the thing I like most about the Crunchwrap is its versatility and resilience, much like the Victorian public. You know, in the queso you could put jalapenos or maybe some bacon. You can also use beef instead of chicken and season it with some taco seasoning, or you could use mushrooms if you like. The world is truly your oyster, but within your 4 walls or within your 5-kilometer radius. I would encourage you definitely to go out to the supermarket with a mask and one person from your home and get some ingredients for these. But please make sure that you're socially distancing at the same time and taking every precaution possible. After a few minutes and a couple of rotations, you'll have something that looks a little bit like this. Nice and golden brown on top and on the bottom too. Let's cut into it. And the cross section. There you have it. 2 Dan Drew's household favourites. I hope you have a go at home, and I hope you use the hashtag COVIDSnapClub or hashtag CSC to let us know that you're getting involved. Next week, Nathan will be hosting again. Thank you very much for having me, Nath. Stay safe, stay distant, because staying apart keeps us together. That was pretty good. That was some hot sauce.